What's going on, fellow humans and resellers? This is I, James, rmitage.com. 20 plus years selling on eBay. All right. Well, not much different overnight on eBay, unfortunately. Home of the sideways couch. There was a 10-hour stretch, only 4 items sold. So, still issues going on, but hey, you know what that means? Should be able to get a lot more listed in the store and raise that number. So, maybe what's today? Thursday. Wonder if by Monday, if I can get my items up to 33,000. That would probably be about 600 pieces. That should be no problem. Maybe I'll shoot for that. Just try to concentrate on growing the number of items in the store, so that when things are back to normal, sales are just flowing in. I saw some comments on social media about when it's slow, you just stop. And that there's really no sense to that at all, because the best time to grow is when things are slow. Hey, I should put that on a shirt. But I went ahead and knocked that out of the way so we can get into it. I had a couple of decent items there. And a lot of vinyl today compared. Not many hats. So a nice little vintage bear looking all hipster and stuff over there. So let's get into this, get this shipped so I can get to growing that store. All right, John Conley, part of that country vinyl collection I bought. I had 2 of these. One sold last week or whenever it was. This one sold for $7, headed to North Carolina. We got Bye Bye Birdie on vinyl. Sold for $7, headed to Kansas City, Missouri. One thing that was a couple of different things I got. One thing that seemed off last night was it seemed like a couple of days ago, whenever, I don't remember the exact day, when an item sold, it was sold and then paid for separately. So I got 2 emails in my Hotmail, where last night everything was straight buys, like nothing was bought and then paid for later, or seconds later, or a minute later, hour later, or whatever. So that was the one thing that was kind of off last night that I noticed that was different. And also, I think what I'm going to do today is, some days I try to feed eBay, 10 at a time, 20 at a time here, throughout the whole day. Since it doesn't really seem like the algorithm matters when all these issues are going on, I think I'm just going to stockpile a bunch, totally completed, bring them all down, and just like list them all together at one time. So it doesn't seem like the algorithm matters. So that will help, kind of speed up my listing a little bit, because I'm not coming down here every 10, 20 items and filing them somewhere. So I think I will do that today. That'd be my strategy. Mountain Music Jubilee on stage. This is probably in Branson. Yeah, there we go, Branson. Sold for $10, headed to Ridgewood, New York. Since I had about 4 people on that last video who loved my handiwork, I am going to go ahead and dedicate my handiwork video to those 4 people. Handiwork. Oh, did you see that? It did the worm. Dang. My hand is hip. Boom, 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 boom. All right, we got Jim Reeves up next. The best of Volume 2 from my country vinyl buy. Sold for $5, headed to Turlock, California. Next up, we've got the Prince vinyl that I bought the vinyl over at the bins, that the covers were really water damaged, so I pulled all the vinyl out of them. A bunch of Prince related items. So we got the Scandalous Sex Suite 12-inch, sold for $13, headed to Las Vegas, Nevada. Normally my hand thing's a subconscious thing that I don't even pay attention to. So it's kind of weird paying attention to my hand and wondering what it's going to do. Hey, where you going? We're over here. Hey, get back over here. Hey, put those down. You don't have the right to use those. No, leave the bear out of it. God, stupid James. God, the stupid things you come up with. What are you? Looney Tunes? Hey, I like Looney Tunes. All right, we've got the Astronaut on vinyl. Another $5 item headed to Fort Wayne, Indiana. All right, we've got a vintage Polo Cardinals. Been in the store over 2 years. Explain that. So for $7, headed to Poseyville, Indiana. It's the bear that proves hipsters are not original. They're just 80s clones. So we got this Applause 1986 teddy bear here with his little going to Hawaii outfit on or whatever. Doing a happy dance. Happy dance. Because he's got a home in Spring, Texas. And he sold for $7. It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday. We got little boys to men. Oh, I should have done that in a sexy voice, right? Hey, baby, it's so hard to say goodbye. Wait a minute, what did you just say? All right, this 45 sold for $14, headed to 40 Fort, Pennsylvania. Oh, how I would have loved to live there. Where you live? 40 Fart. Say it like you're in St. Louis. It's 40 Fart. It's not 40 Fort. It's 40 Fart. That's awesome. Charles Mingus, the Black Saint and the Center Lady. Da 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 da. Sounds like a thriller movie. Anyway, jazz CD sold for $6, headed to Marion, Illinois. All right, Versus Dead Leaves CD sold for $10, headed to Portland, Oregon. As I was putting up, here's a little tip for you. As I was putting up CDs yesterday, I forgot to put my hand in there, so let me get my hand in there. As I was putting up CDs yesterday, I noticed that there was a lot of CDs that's gone up in value. Some of them that was in that collection I kind of bought, I expected them just to go in as my $5 clearance. And I was actually putting them in for $10. I'm like, whoa, what's going on? And like, even you'll see now recently, a lot of my old Hastings buys, I've been relisting them. They sat in the store forever, didn't sell. They came down over time because I didn't have that 75,000 allotment of free media listings. So they eventually came down. So I put these up probably a week and a half ago. I got like 17 of them and sold for $10. Headed to Santa Maria, California. So CDs appear to be still climbing in value, which is good to see. And some of them that I listed that I expected there would be 100 of them up, there was only like 25 or 30. I'm like, wow. So it seems like CDs are really starting to hit a stride right now. And I'm happy about that because I've got tens of thousands of them in storage. So I need to keep pounding away at this listing. So $10, Santa Maria. But of course not all of them, because this is one of my long boxes I got plenty of. $450 here, South Lake Tahoe, California. And it's maybe not necessarily that they're moving quicker or anything. It's just a lot of values have raised on some CDs. That's totally taken me by surprise. And I would say that's been going on for the last at least 30 to 60 days. I would say I've been noticing that. So, all right, next up we've got, hey, where'd you go? Hey, damn it. Can you believe it? Right when I needed him most, he disappears and, oh, there you are. All right. Okay. Welcome back. I need you. All right. We've got these Nike Blazers. I had originally kept these for myself. Please don't unsubscribe because of my stupidity. But if you do, I understand. Originally kept these for myself and I was going to get some cool oddball colored laces for them. Maybe some teal or something. I don't know. And decided I was never going to get around to wearing them or doing anything, so I sold them. These sold for $50, headed to Allen, Texas. I think Sammy Davis Jr. once wrote a song saying, the handyman can, the handyman. No? Or I don't know if he wrote the song. He might have just sang the song. Wrong title though. Handyman can. All right, next up we had this hat sold for $10, headed to North Carolina. Life's much more entertaining when you can act a fool. Up in here, up in here. Y'all gonna make me act a fool. Up in here. All right, we got this golf course Hermitage. This been in the store over 2 years. $5. Headed to Mount Juliet, Tennessee. You're gonna do what to Juliet? This video is to raise awareness that you take advantage of. You take your hand for granted. All right. Do not take your hand for granted. There are some people who do not have them, who would probably love to have them. I'm the one person who always tried to train with the opposite hand when I did everything, just in case I lost one. I always had that weird fear that I would lose like my dominant leg or dominant hand or whatever. So I always trained doing things with the opposite hand or with just one hand. Things I'd catch myself normally I have to do with two, I would try to do the whole situation with one. I don't know, my head always worked weird like that. But anyway, stop taking your hand for granted. It brings a lot of pleasure into your life, right? Makes things a lot more simple. Yes. Yes, it does. This is the hand appreciation video. Thank you very much. All right, we got this Chasing Rainbows hat with a cool sequence. And can us straight men get the rainbow back, please? I like rainbows. Hey, just because if I'm wearing a rainbow shirt, please just don't assume I'm gay. See, the rainbow belongs to all of us. It does. It really does. It does. The rainbow's a beautiful thing. Don't ask. All right, $10. Headed to Melissa, Texas. All right now, American Arrogant hat. Sold for $7. Headed to Bozeman, Montana. I haven't been to Montana in a couple weeks. All right, we've got this cool vintage Clark Racing hat. I remember the Clark gas stations. Had one right down the street from me in like the mid-90s. This was sold for $6.50. Headed to Napoleon, Ohio. So my nice sale of the day. I should have been a hand model, don't you think? Look at that. Look at that beauty. That grace just flowing through the camera lens. It was made for the camera. Look at that. Yeah. All right, enough. Because this is my last piece for this video. And my best piece. And I remember at the bins, like you may have heard before, I usually hit clothes like third. Like I'll hit the hats and shoes. And with the same bin, I'll hit media. And then I'll go to clothes and household type of stuff. And this was laying there. People clearly gone through the bin. I'm like, I didn't look at it. I just picked it up, threw it in the car. And I'm like, there's got to be something wrong with it. That's why it's still laying here, et cetera, et cetera. And there was nothing wrong with it. No stains, no rips, no tears, nothing. I'm like, what? How is this still there? Actually, was this one that maybe had an underarm rip? Nope, that was something else. But yeah, nothing wrong with it. And I'm like, wow, I got lucky, didn't I? So this sold for $56, and it's headed to Carbondale, Colorado. And that is all, as we say. All right, hopefully sales will be good for you today. And if you lasted throughout this whole video, I've got to hand it to you. You've been awesome. We shall see you in the next video. Right, kiddos? Too much hand, not enough puppy? Yeah, probably so. All right, everybody, take care. Have a good day, and sell some stuff, or at least list some stuff. Later.